Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. I'm filming this in my car and my car was really loud with it on, with the engine running and the AC on. So I'm redoing this in the 90-degree weather in a long sleeve shirt that I'm in right now, so wish me luck. So anyway, I'm Janelle, by the way. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. I've recently shifted my content from very self-improvement, motivational content to more faith-based Christian content. I have gone from being a very lukewarm Christian to becoming a very firm believer in believing that there is one truth, which is in Jesus, and that is what I'm trying to share on this channel. So welcome if you are here for the first time. So in the last week, I've been learning some things about the Lord. I've been asking for wisdom. I've been asking for some guidance. And here I am filming this video out of the blue at my job, on my break, in my car. So let me start with what I've been experiencing. I have not been able to sleep in the last week. And I am somebody who sleeps through the night all the time. I do not sacrifice my sleep for anything. I'm all about getting my 8 hours as much as I can. I am also somebody who puts sleep sounds on my phone, like even ASMR tapping sometimes, and like rain drop sounds and things like that to help me sleep. And I'll set a timer on my phone for like 20 minutes. And 99.9% of the time, I am asleep before those 20 minutes. So I get into bed, I knock out, I know it's a blessing, but for me not to be able to sleep multiple days in a row is just very unusual. And I don't think it's a coincidence that I recently learned that, my pastor put it this way: if the devil can't make you bad, he'll make you busy. I am so busy during the day. I like to make myself feel productive. I like to fill my day with all these things. I was listening to this, like, you know, these sounds at night. I wasn't allowing the voice of the Lord to come through. I wasn't listening. I wasn't looking for him. And I was just surrounded by noise all through the day. So what does the Lord do? Wake me up in the middle of the night and knock on my door like, hello, you have nothing going on now, so are you gonna listen to me or what? Like, that's kind of how I've been feeling the last week. I just started praying, like, God, I'm listening. What do you want me to see? What are you trying to reveal to me? Like, please show me. And I kept going back to my close circle of friends and how a majority of them are non-believers, and I'm going through this shift and I feel like I can't talk to them about it. I feel like I can't, you know, push my beliefs on them. So I just feel at a loss. Like, I want these people to feel the way I'm feeling. I want them to see that there is one truth. There's no many truths the way many people like to believe. Like, this is your belief and this is my belief and this is my truth and this is your truth. I am gonna turn on my AC, so I hope the sound isn't too bad, but I do not want to go back into the office sweating this bad. That's kind of what I've been doing. And then last night I was woken up again at 3 in the morning, and at this point, I was like, God, please, I want to sleep. I don't understand, like, why do I keep waking up? And last night I knew that my prayer was so rehearsed. It was one of those, hey God, thanks for another good day today. Like, just very basic, repetitive prayer. There wasn't that like emotional connection with it before I went to bed, right? So when I woke up at 3 a.m., it was like that deep, intentional prayer that I needed to be praying before I went to bed last night. And I was like begging him. I was like, God, please show me what you want to show me. And all of a sudden it was, you're filming this video tomorrow. And, you know, I just start writing in my notepad how to hear from God, how to talk to God, message for non-believers. Like, I have no idea what I'm titling this even now, but all I kept hearing was, you need to film this video, show people how they can find me, show people how they can hear from me. And that is what I'm doing. My goal of this video is to break it down as simple as I can to show you how you can hear from the Lord if you feel like you're struggling. If you happen to have stumbled upon this video and you're not even looking for him and you're not a believer and you just don't care, maybe give this a listen because you just never know. And then of course, if you're the non-believer who wants to be a believer, or the lukewarm Christian and you feel like, you know, I kind of believe in him, but I don't know exactly where, like, what that means and who he is and what he wants from me and what my purpose is. I just want to give you a couple of tips that somehow worked for me. I didn't even know I was doing them. I didn't do them with this goal, but they just worked, right? So looking back and reflecting, like, how did I start hearing from him? These are the things I did. So the first thing I will recommend is never underestimate the power of a fast. I didn't realize I was fasting when I decided to understimulate myself. I talk about this in my testimony video. If you haven't seen that, I do recommend it. I will have it up here. I go on about how I was overstimulated and there's just too much noise in the world, and so I deleted social media. I stopped telling myself that I had to go to the gym every day and just kind of like put it off for a little bit. I stopped listening to all secular music. I was only listening to worship music, and I literally was just like, I need a break. I need a break from this noise. I need a break from the world. And in that silence, I started to hear from him. And that's when I had that one night in my apartment by myself where I just heard from him, and everything I thought of the world was like a big lie. I was like, oh my God, Hollywood is not biblical. The music industry is not biblical. I need to stop with this drunkenness. I need to change the way I'm dressing. I need to I just started getting bombarded with all of these things and all of this information. And it was all when I just decided to slow down and live in silence. And whew, it was a day, you know. My boyfriend was on his way to my house. I had to call him. I was crying my eyes out. I'm like, I just need you to know, this is what just happened. I don't know what's going on. I suddenly see the world through a different lens, and it's weird, you know. It's kind of unexplainable, but that was the first thing that I really noticed. Was I started this fast, and then all of a sudden things started to change. So when it comes to fasting, I know the first thing people typically think of is food and drink, but you can fast from anything that you feel like is taking your attention off seeking the Lord. That's you're using way too much of your time doing this thing. You can definitely fast from that, and it could be one thing, it could be multiple things. I think the more things you fast from, the more effective this will be. And if you want to do it for just a week, do it for a week. If you don't feel anything in a week, maybe do it couple weeks. After that week is over, you can go back to listening to the music that you were listening to, or wearing the things you were wearing before, doing the things you were doing before, but you might get convicted in the process, and you might not even want to go back to what you were doing before. So now, I don't only listen to worship music and Christian music, but I do have boundaries in the music that I listen to. I kind of feel uneasy when I listen to certain things that I didn't really get that uneasy feeling before. You might start hearing from God in a different way. So my second point on how to start hearing from the Lord is the way you talk to him and the way that you are praying. As soon as I started praying from my heart, and my whole thing with my previous faith that I've been calling my lukewarm Christianity is that I believed in a God, but I wasn't sure about Jesus. So I put that aside and I said, you know what? Let me get rid of these preconceived notions that I have, these thoughts about Christianity, the thoughts about that it's one truth out of many. Trust me, I know that there are so many misconceptions and preconceived notions and prejudgments about Christians as people, and I want you to just erase that and just give this a shot, right? Try talking to him. This is all about your relationship with the Lord. It's not about what all these other people are doing that call themselves Christians. It's not about any of that. You will find what your purpose is and what your relationship with Jesus is and what your convictions are and all of that between you and him, not between all these other people that like to mesh politics and human rights and all of these other things into Christianity when they really are separate things. So I really ask that you just speak from the heart. Ask him for the desire to read his word. When you're about to read a chapter of the Bible, to say, God, please reveal to me what needs to be revealed to me through this chapter. I do that all the time now, and it has been such a game changer. I don't just open the Bible and just start reading. That doesn't work. You gotta have that connection. It's faith and works. So have that faith, pray to him, and then do the act of reading the Bible. And if you don't feel like reading it, pray for that desire. I heard a testimony where this guy went to church for the first time. He was about to give up on God. He went down to the altar and he prayed and he said, God, if you are real, if you're there, and show me that you're there, I will literally give my life to you. And God showed up, and Jesus showed up right there, and the Holy Spirit spoke through him. And from that day forward, he was a Christian. So my biggest message to non-believers is to give it a chance, because I feel like that's the biggest thing, is that a lot of people don't want to give it a chance. They just want to block Jesus out, and they're so uncomfortable with his name. They're so uncomfortable knowing that people are following him. They instantly group that with everything else. They bring it into politics, and they bring it into human rights, and they bring it into all these things. We are just separating following Jesus and following the world. And the thing is too, the media is not going to display all of these Christian people. That's just not Like, the media is so of the world. Hollywood is so of the world. So we're not going to see good Christian examples, which is part of the reason why I feel called to make these videos. My third thing would be go to church. This one wasn't really huge for me, but I've seen so many testimonies, like the one I just mentioned, where going to church completely changed them. They felt the presence of the Holy Spirit. They got to see all these people worshiping, all these people following God. Like, a lot of times you just don't think that people are even doing that. But then when you go to a church and you see this community of people, you're like, wow, I feel really good here. And I will definitely admit that I feel the same way when I go to church. I just want to get involved. I want to do more. There's so many different kinds of churches. There's so many denominations. There's big mega churches. There's small churches. Find the one that works for you. I know a lot of people have their opinions on mega churches, but honestly, that was a perfect start for me, because it was just like, oh, these are just normal people praising the Lord. It wasn't very, like, it didn't feel strict. I didn't feel as judged. I liked, coming from a worldly spot, going into a big church like that, because I just felt like I blended in a little bit better. So that might be a really good stepping stone for people. That might be a good home for people. So I think all in all, I just think the way you pray matters. I can see this inner joy and inner sense of purpose in people that find Jesus. And you know what? If you search hard enough, you will find him. I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my break. And I'm also drinking this lime sparkling water because it is so good. It kind of tastes like Sprite. If you have any questions for me, anything you want me to talk about specifically, honestly, I just want everybody to feel that shift that I felt. And this is why we share the word, because we want everybody to feel that feeling, because you are so loved. You just need to give him a chance. This is where I'm gonna end this. It looks like it's gonna rain, so I should probably head inside soon. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.